Hello, I'm Jenna, and today I wanted to talk about RPG, specifically Mothership. So, Mothership is an RPG, and it was developed by a company called Tuesday Night Games. They're a really good company, very creative, very original. And Mothership is more like a sci-fi horror type of theme. So think of it almost like the famous movie Alien. It's kind of a similar concept to that. That's where a big inspiration for the game was coming from. And I think it was much better than Alien, the RPG game itself, just in my opinion. That's kind of my hot take. So let me explain how you play Mothership. What does it look like? It's a D100 dice game, so percentage based type of RPG. And the characters have specific stats. Really, there's only four, so it's pretty simple, just four stats. And also, it has saves. Again, four types of saves for each specific situation. All of them use D100 to roll. You get a number equal to or under what your stats that you're using. So it's simple. But that is the challenging part. A lot of time the character numbers are pretty low. And when you make the character sheet, as you see here, it's really simple, super easy. I would say it took me maybe 10 minutes to make my characters. But I guess my point here is with those four stats that you make, you're just going to roll randomly. And I would say you average about maybe in the 20s, possibly the 10s, but mostly in the 20s. Sometimes you'll get the 30s and maybe the 40s if you're really lucky. Anything above that is phenomenal. But on average, it's mostly 20s. So if you can imagine rolling a D100 and trying to make it equal or less than your stat. So 20s is a pretty low chance of success. So that's where this game is, you struggle, whether you succeed, just trying to survive through this crazy, monster, dangerous sort of environment, just trying to make it through. And that's kind of the exciting part of this game. Again, when you make a character, it's going to be pretty simple and quick, and this does have a high death rate, so it's very, very likely your character is going to die over and over. So when you do the character creation, it's pretty simple. If your character dies, that's fine. Just go ahead, make a new one. You can just, pop up again later if you want. So some people prefer to die. I personally prefer to just make a new character and keep going. But you can always find a creative excuse for a new person coming in a situation. It's super easy. The other thing that I really like about this game is a lot of the rules, really, if that's like flying, fighting, all of the different details, it's kind of left up to the warden or the GM. That's a nickname for the GM in this game, is the warden. Kind of makes sense. And a lot of the rules, a lot of the concepts are not really bogged down by too many details. So I really hate that. If that's something you like a lot of details, you like a lot of rules for all the different possible scenarios, this is not going to be the game for you. If you're like me and you prefer to just play and kind of enjoy the story as you go along and details aren't really a big deal, or, you can maybe look to other people to play this game and see kind of what creative rules they've come up with. And I really like that flexibility. That's something I enjoy about this. I don't have to worry about too many details. I just more worry about your character and the story instead. Another cool thing about this game is they have a system called stress and panic. And it's really cool. So as you're going along with your story, your character is going to build stress when you fail a save or when you encounter something that's screwed up. it's going to cause you stress, and that will accrue over time. And, you can do drugs, but then you'll do more stress. And if you're doing like a really long flight and you don't sleep, that's going to cause you to gain more stress. So there's a lot of different scenarios where you're going to get stress. And really the main point of that is it's eventually going to hit panic. And so when the warden informs you that you're going to do a panic check, you have to roll and see if you can get above what your panic is, and then you'd be fine. So if you get below, then that means you have to do the panic, and you're going to have to roll for the table. And that table number will then tell you a specific consequence that you have to accept. Typically, the numbers aren't a big deal, but the higher you get, the more severe. And you could actually go insane, you could die. That's kind of the top level, is that you would die from the panic because you have so much stress overwhelming you. So one thing that I want to mention is in the magazine that they have included with like the basic rules, they have the player's survival guide. Kind of a strange name, but it's a horror rule book for that RPG. And again, it's really simple, just very thin, not too thick or anything too complicated with too much information in it. It's really a simple design, very straightforward, very clear and easy to understand. Whatever you see, if you have any specific questions or anything, and it's not in there, that means it's going to be up to you. Or, again, you can look on, other books, magazines, see if there's any sort of expansion. You can do that. That's another option. I would say one of my favorite things is on the back, they have a player's cheat sheet. And it's very clear, very easy to understand what the stat checks are, your save checks, your stresses, panic, combat, what does that look like? They even have a guide for combat, what you should do first if this situation happens, and then kind of goes from there and guides you along a pathway to kind of direct you on what to do. Everything that you need to know, just very basic. Everything is within one sheet. Very, very simple, very clear and straightforward. And I love that. I think it's a brilliant design. I think that it just makes it so easy to be taught and play along the game. And I think that's great. Wonderful. Now, I have played for many, many times already. I really love this. If you have any questions, or you want to maybe see what a session looks like, or just anything, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. Let me know what kind of videos related to Mothership that you would like to see. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you like it, click like. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. If you feel you want to provide support, there's a few different avenues to support me. First, I have set up a Patreon. I just set it up, so there's no followers as of making this video. So it's brand new. I have different levels and different perks that you can get if you want to support me monthly. So please check it out. Or if you prefer to just do a one-time, you can buy me a coffee. There's another link down below. I love coffee. So if you want to do that, please buy me a coffee. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.